Well, hello there. I've just been recording for the last 25 minutes, and I have not pressed the button. Lovely. I'm in the back of a van, my van. This is a sort of place where actors and singers go to rehearse without the constant harassment of people listening in from their apartment building at 1:39 a.m. and people walking past, staring in through the window awkwardly. Today I'm going to be rehearsing a new song I'm learning called Space Oddity by Richard Bower. David Bowie. David Bowie. Now my fingers are very weak, like little child's fingers, and I need to strengthen them because they are very weak and they have to press very hard into very steel sharp blades for hours at a time. And so in order for me to rehearse that, I need to strengthen them up. So let's see if I can do that. Shall we? Let's go. I never know where to look. I look at chords I don't need to look at. It's just my fingers doing this back and forward. I'm looking at myself in the screen there. It looks impressive, like I wish I could do that, and I can't. Ground control to Major Tom. Look back again, I didn't need to. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. As I said earlier, 25 minutes of recording myself doing this already has led to a lot of pain already in my fingers, and yet I just went straight into another recording without giving my fingers a little break. Let's have a little break now, shall we? What have we got here? We've got whiskey in a can. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, delicious. And also butterscotch. Fills the room with a radiant scent of maple syrup. I know it says butterscotch on the package, but it does indeed taste and smell somewhat like maple syrup. Probably not the best thing one could do for their lungs, but it does Dutch oven up my van nicely. I'm in the middle of a gig at the moment. I have to wear a suit and everything. It's a very formal occasion, about 100 people. I just sang a whole bunch of big numbers. Mustang Sally was a big one. Ended on New York, but the fucking sound system fucked up. I'm worried about this thing, at least it's night time. But these downlights, I'm about to walk under one now. Give you some indication of what it's like. So, I'm going back in and have another beer. Probably better to fade the overhang here. It's weakly held. But the main concern for me has been the lines. Time for a coffee. 5:27. I just woke up. So it's day 11 of this hairpiece. This has the lines. I'm just going to do my first hairline touch up. I say to do it twice a week, but it is winter here in Australia. I'm in Melbourne, so that's closer to Antarctica than other parts of Northern Australia and so on. So Australia's not just hot all across, you know. There are fires in Canada at the moment, so that's the difference we're experiencing in terms of weather events around the world. We're just experiencing cold, gloomy, overcast, approximately 11-degree weather, which I assume is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know, just guessing. I just subtract, let's say it's 11, because I know 70 is 20. So if I go -5, because you subtract 10, so it's minus. The temperature in this room, by the way, is 15.7 degrees. I don't know if I can trust that thermostat, but it's warmer inside this house than it is outside, I'm sure. Like the tiles under my feet are cold. So yeah, if 70 equals 50, and I know that 80 equals 25, then I've just gone backwards in the same pattern. So peeling this stuff off, given it's covered in sweat and so on, it's probably just a matter of peeling it from the corner. So obviously winter is the best time to wear a hairpiece. It's not like I'm going to go bald in summer and then just wear a hairpiece in winter, but glue doesn't melt as much in winter as it does in summer, unless you're constantly warm, which I kind of am. I'm indoors all the time, which is very lucky for me compared to some other people in the world and throughout history who had to endure extreme freezing, like our ancestors, cavemen and so on. They died, or they peeled a seal or something, or a kangaroo. My ancestors did not peel a kangaroo though, although I've got Māori heritage, so don't really know how the Polynesians are related to Aborigines. Don't know if that's part of the same stream. Could be. I mean, it is sometime distant back. I mean, we're all humans. We didn't evolve from separate genocide, whereas Genesis is. But of course I've got white ancestors as well. Probably from, I don't know, wherever white people come from. Central Europe or something. So there's the Auschwitz tag. It hasn't been highly visible through the through the hairs, but I'm paranoid about the straight lines anyway, more than I am about that. So it's good that they've got a fairly colour matched Auschwitz tag there. As I say, I would still prefer this didn't exist, this Auschwitz tag. But the worst problem really is that they didn't bleach any of the knots or anything, so it's highly embarrassing. I said I might, in one of my comments, I said I might try to re-bleach it because I've got a year's supply of this stuff and I can't walk around paranoid like this the whole time, trying to and it's low density as well, so there's no way to even conceal it except sort of lightly brush some dusty hairs over the front. There's no thicket. with which to hide it all. And it is a lot of money, so there's no point in keeping them shit. I've got to try at least to make the front hairlines more bleached. You can always wear a hat over your hair, but as I get older, now 44, wearing a baseball cap all the time is not really a respectable thing to do, and also it causes more heat to build up around front hairline, etc., which degrades the glue faster. Everything's different in winter anyway. I'm at a massive advantage right now. So these, what I'm going through now, are optimal conditions for wearing a hairpiece, including the fact that going outside is not a bright sunny day, reflecting off the plastic. Though I find that even though I talk about reflection from these poly units, which is mostly a problem when you've got lower density, the bigger problem of reflection comes from glue. So wearing lace can actually be a more reflection problem in terms of light bouncing off your scalp than poly, because the glue is often very shiny. I know Walker Tape Ultra Hold is very shiny. That's what I've got on here. Just to be clear, Walker is not the name of the company. Walker Tape is the name of the company. So when I say Walker Tape Ultra Hold, it has nothing to do with tape. It's just the name of the company. Unfortunately, that's the name of the company. They should rename it. I don't know why they don't. Maybe the name Walker is taken. I'm sure they just started by selling tape. But it's a silly thing to call name your company after the first product you decide to sell. Maybe they were just going to sell one thing. In their mind, they never thought they would expand into adhesives in terms of just paste on adhesives. But they have. And I'd say right now, this glue that I'm using is probably the #1 glue that hair wearers use in the world. Walker Tape Ultra Hold. This stuff. I would say this, maybe not this size, but I think this is a pretty practical size. A lot of people probably buy that size, 1.4 fluid ounces. Let's check that's true. Yep. 41.4 mils. So my stepbrother's coming over now-ish, 7:38 in the morning. I lapped myself with my sleeping, so I accidentally woke up at a good time today, so about 6 a.m, which is really healthy, accidentally. I was really hungover yesterday, so it's nice to have had a recovery sleep. You gotta be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to get abrasions from the scrubbing and micro topography of these. They don't feel rough, but if you do it too much, it scratches you and gives you a rash. So my stepbrother knows I wear hair, so not my stepbrother, my brother-in-law knows I wear hair, so I'm not going to be scared if he walks in while I've got the, hair stuck back like this. His family. So in 11 days, my regrowth here at the front, my natural hairs, is almost 0. It really was 11 days. That's 11 days regrowth. It can't be though. It looks like 2 days regrowth. I can't believe I'm that bald now. But I'm going grey, so I'm beginning to rot at this point. Basically decorating a zombie. That little white bit that goes under the lid, it keeps falling off and trying to fall into the glue and stuff, so I just got rid of it. It doesn't seem to cause a problem removing that underside of the cap. It would if you wanted to store it for over a year probably, but I'll go through this bottle in about a month, maybe 2 months. So shouldn't be a problem. Won't have time to dry out properly or go gluggy. Really careful not to get glue in the hairs up there. Also got to be careful not to put too little amount of glue up there as well, which is a difficult balance. You don't want a blob, which gives it a rise and causes problems. Not as much as lace causes problems. This poly is so much better than lace. Make sure you put the lid on properly. So I'll wait 15 minutes for that to dry instead of squishing it down immediately, because it oozes out the front edge if you do that. So you've got to wait 15 minutes. And then I'll have a shower. I'll just get rid of that blob. Right, the blob wins. Leave it there. Doesn't matter. That should be smoothed over a bit there. A bit too lumpy. It's pretty important to actually tilt your head left and right so that the light source can give you multiple perspectives. So you can see where the glue is a bit better. Alright, I'll wait for this to dry and see what happens. Okay, let's have a look. Well, in previous hair pieces, that would have definitely pulled some hairs out, but these hairs are holding in tight, which is good. Just going to spray some alcohol. I did it before after I turned the camera off, but just need to show you again. I'm playing game of Risk at the moment. Sorry, I just had to do that move. Where the fuck did I put it? It's right here. There it is. Now those baby wipes and stuff, which I must have taken to the other room with me, do have soap built into them. Maybe built is the wrong word for soap. Anyway, so look, start in the middle, get that the neatest. And try to make sure there are no folds or anything. Try to stretch that out to the edge, but obviously stretching recoils over time, so you can't trust stretching. With lace it's a little bit easier to stretch because it's a netting that it can sort of just be warped permanently, which is actually a problem, but useful if you want to stretch right to the edges. But with poly it's going to spring back whenever it possibly can. I mean, you can warp it, but it's not the greatest thing to warp it. It's got some springiness to it and it'll come back to where it wants to be, which means if you do stretch it out to the edge to favour the overhang or whatever, it'll come back in over a couple of hours time. It's one hair. But generally, oh, there's another one. Okay, two more. Usually after a shower with the hot water and everything causing the pores of the plastic to open up a bit, that you start to see problems with shedding more. So I'll have a shower and fix my hair, and yeah, I probably won't be bleaching anything today. I've got to help out with the kitchen renovations. All right, here we go. All right, so I had the shower. The hairs are not coming out. I'll show you the kitchen so far. Look at this. This is my little makeshift kitchen that I've been using. And this is the kitchen that we're building here. It's gonna be pretty good. Guess I'll use this stuff. I get the feeling I use too much of this stuff sometimes. I don't want too much separation now that I have to make sure that there's some sort of dense thicket here, right? Because I don't want those straight lines to be seen by anybody. So I might have to tip half of that down the sink. That's going to be enough. I'll tuck that out. I would usually use as much as I showed you. It's just that this is a terrible looking hairpiece at the front hairline. But it's not terrible in terms of it's been stitched in properly. The density is way too low. But those lines are just way too visible. Potentially they always look like this. It's just that the density is too low, and that's just the only difference between this one and some of the other 0.03 polys I've had before. This is still the 0.06, and yet again, I can reiterate that the 0.06 millimeter has no inferiority in terms of creating a shadow or thick front hairline skin of any kind. So 0.06 and 0.03 are equal in their purpose. They don't look different from each other as far as I can tell, and I'm fussy, all right? So you can trust 0.06. So you would probably choose that over 0.03 because why not have more durability, right? All right, I gotta go to the tip. So we got some work done on the kitchen. It's got the bench here. This will look even more amazing when the stone's in place. Pretty cool, huh? It's gonna be my new kitchen. Complete transformation. I'm actually currently standing where there was once a wall. We knocked the wall out, and all of that was a wall all the way down to the hallway. So, fuck yeah. I haven't really been looking in the mirror a heap to check out how bad this hairline is, but when it's fluffed like this, you can't tell. There's enough fluff going on that at the moment, yeah, but as soon as you do that, you can see the lines. Doesn't look real anymore straight away. Yeah, be very, if you're gonna have these lines like this and you haven't been able to bleach the front hairline properly, I would say don't put too much hair product in. You've got to keep it dry, you know, like this look. It's not like a look, I look like a bum, a very attractive bum, well-fed bum, but yeah, a bum. So, but I mean, you've got to keep it somewhat dry, however you style it. I usually rely on the wet look with a lot of this shit that I have to style my hair, but I guess I gotta redesign my strategy, especially with this, until I decide to re-bleach all these hair pieces again. Look how my plants are going. I'm so bad at being a gardener. They look like they want something. I've given them water. What do you want? Anyway, fare thee well at once. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near. Adieu, adieu, remember me.